Hi folks, we're back again. It's Tuesday afternoon, and as you can see, we've been busy. Been a lot of other interruptions, kind of, so this didn't take all the time that between the last video and now. But we have made some progress. Got the wall all taped and sanded. It's nice and smooth. Really happy with the way it turned out. Essentially what you're looking at is, let me think, 1, 2, 3 coats, I guess. 3 applications of taping compound. I taped all of the seams, put a coat of taping compound over the seams, in second application, and kind of, spot covered all of the deeper voids that were there, and grainy areas and nails and screw holes, and then floated the whole surface with a 12-inch broad knife as a third application, and which I'm really happy with. It came real smooth. Like I said, I'm really pleased with that. I guess I've been doing enough of this taping over the years that it seems to be getting easier. So anyway, I got a coat of PVA on it. That's what you're looking at right now. The sealer that you put over a fresh sheetrock. Since this is wall-to-wall taping compound, I figured PVA sealer would be a good idea. And now I'm going to start doing the actual painting. And what I'm doing here, the paint color you see on the back wall and the front wall and the ceiling is called Bone. It's a Kelly Moore factory color, pre-mixed color. It's just a good neutral color. I've used that paint in apartments and stuff over the years. It's just a good color. But I'm almost out of that. And I had, every time I go into, my area storage areas, I find all these quarts of sample colors that have 2 brushes missing out of them and a full quart of paint. Anyway, I had like 14 quarts of sample colors that we've used, like in the bathroom that we just remodeled. I must have had 6 or 8 or something like that just from that. A couple of different whites and a whole bunch of the colors. So I decided to do is to mix them all together and see what came out. And what came out was a gray that's over there, that can right there. There's all half of the quartz that you see. What came out was this gray that was a little dark. And what I did is I went down to Kelly Moore and I got a can of essentially tint base, which is white. A gallon of that, and I took a gallon of the mixture, and I mixed it 1-to-1, and that lightened it by about half. It lightened the gray to about half. That's what I'm going to do on this wall. I'm going to do this light gray. And I have enough, I'm sure, to do that wall when I get around to covering that wall. So anyway, that's where we're at this point. I'm going to start right now. It's kind of late today. It's probably around 3 o'clock. I'm going to do the corners. Today I'm going to do the corners on the bone, get rid of that and let that dry. And depending on how long that takes to dry, if maybe on one end, by the time I get to the other end, the first end will be dry. I'm going to come back and start doing the gray. So anyway, I'm going to start with the bone and go from there. I'll show you what it looks like when I get it covered. I might have to do 2 coats on the gray because that's been my experience. When you roll it, it's pretty smooth. When you roll it, the roller leaves a texture that you can kind of see through on the first coat. So it's a deep tint base kind of, fairly anyway. I don't know with these modern paints that say guaranteed 1 coat. I've never been able to. Like I say, when you do it with a roller, the roller leaves this texture that's got almost nothing on one part of that texture. Anyway, let's see what happens. All right, talk to you later. Again, thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, well, there's the first step. Tidied up the corner with the bone, the existing color. All right, so you see I've done the wall, done the ceiling, covered up all the white where we did the taping. The corner on the top. corner on both ends. In fact, I went over it with a second coat because even with the little weenie roller, you can still see through it quite a bit. But anyway, I think it'll look fine now. You can see it's a tiny bit lighter still because it isn't quite dry yet. You can, if you, I don't know, maybe you can see with the camera down here. I can't tell on the screen. It's a little shiny, maybe almost a foot out. All right, so I'm not going to start with the gray now. It's too late and the bone is still kind of wet. So I'm going to leave that for tomorrow, I think. One step at a time, one day at a time. You know how that goes. So then I got to start putting wire in these outlets. Just go from the live one over to the one that I added in each case. Power that one up with a 220 volt circuit. My son-in-law brought me some number 10 the other day, so that's what I'm going to use for the welder plug. And that's also what I'm going to use for the lift power. The lift power is going to come through that conduit right there. That conduit goes back under the slab over to the panel. Right now it's got 3 number 12s in it. Yeah, I can probably put 15 number 12s in there. So I'm going to drag 2 number 10s in there and use the number 12 ground, and that's going to feed my lift when it gets here. It'll give me a 220 volt circuit for the lift. I've got a disconnect switch, motor rated disconnect switch for it. And that's supposed to happen the 31st of this month. Here's where I laid out the post. I think I'm going to move that a little bit. I'm going to move it that way, a foot, I believe. Remember, I've got an area under that location right there that's 4 feet square, and it's an extra 6 inches thick. So that concrete right there is about a foot thick. I'm going to move that towards the back wall about a foot, because what I'm afraid of is when I park something like my truck here on the lift, I don't want the back wheels to be right in front of the post. In case I want to do brakes or something, I don't want to be trying to work between the post and the truck. Yeah, I mean, it would be 18 inches to 2 feet away from the post, but that's still kind of inconvenient. And I left a lot of space. I got 12 feet from the center of the post to that wall. When the guy came that I bought the lift from Benpack, he says they usually leave 7-8 feet. So 12 feet's way more. I think I'm going to put the brake, the sheet metal brake on that wall with maybe like a 2-foot table, a fairly narrow table. And I'll still have, if I move that a foot to the center, and that'll give me 11 feet. And if I take up 2 feet there, it'll still give me 9 feet. That's more than most people do. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm rambling. So see you when we do the next step. I'm going to paint this gray tomorrow morning and probably put 2 coats on it, and then I'll show you that. All right? Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Well, there it is. Walls painted. 2 coats of the paint on it, and all the protective stuff is gone. You see the copper is uncovered. Anyway, so we're ready with this. That color that mixed with all the color samples came out pretty nice. I'm happy with it. It's a nice light color. So anyway, next step I think is to trim out these windows. I'm going to go pick up some material for that now. I'm recording this with a camera instead of the way I usually do it. I usually do it on the iPhone. And both of my computers, I have 2 computers, they're both at the Apple Store. They both decided to crap out at one time. So I can't download the iPhone, and I don't want to fill it all up completely, so I'm doing this one with the camera. Anyway, More to come. I'll do the windows. Maybe I'll do a few videos of the process that involves. It's just like the back ones, the ones on the back wall. At least that's what I'm intending. So anyway, talk to you later. Thanks for watching.